you were making money from drone riding, you got a buff. You're making more money now. Not a ton more, but noticeably more. So that's the update on that. I wanted to talk about CCP is giving out lots of free SP, and as you know, we like to come out with new doctrines and new ideas. So save that SP up so that you can apply it immediately, bank that stuff, and be ready for the next new cool thing. Let's go back to ratting for a second. NPC dreads, they now point. Sometimes they did, sometimes they didn't before, but that means that if a dread spawns, it will point your ship and it will probably kill it. It seems like they're pointing very fast. That is not the intended behavior. CCP has already said they're going to look at adjusting that. But if you are running it and your ship gets pointed by the NPC dread, you probably die. So just be aware, you need to have a plan to get out now if you're running havens where dreads can spawn. By the way, Forsaken Hubs got a big buff as far as how much IST they make, and they do not spawn NPC dreads. So if you're looking for a basically totally safe way to do it as far as that goes, go to a Forsaken Hub. The escalation's not as good, but the ISK is basically as good now, and you have no chance of getting caught by that. So yeah,
every system we have that has a ratting upgrade, or a major at least, has a minimum of 2 of those, and it scales up from there.
All the Forsaken Hub routers are like, don't tell them. Yeah, I know. Yep. All right. Immediately after this fireside, we have a couple things going on. First off, we're going to do a move op. We're going to cross the gap again. So if you need to come across the gap for TACO 7, we will be doing a move op. After that, we are launching something new. This is something we've been talking about we want to do for a little while. It is going to be the Imperium Standing Fleet. This is essentially going to be, if any of you old heads remember Jew Standing Fleet, this is the rebirth of that. It is the General Standing Fleet. It's going to be centered in UALX, but wanting to cover, Catch, Griffiths, Impasse, and Immincy. So it is going to be Imperium Standing Fleet. Will be launching after the move op. We will be looking for you guys to idle in there. If you're looking to go around and be a dummy who wants to throw a Hodge Red at something, to do it. We are officially opening business for dummies. We don't want you to lose your Hodge Red, but now that we're in a situation where it can't be instantly counter dropped for in 10 seconds, then we're going to open that up. So join the Imperium Standing Fleet. It's going to be going up every day, and we're looking for people to get in there and just to, there's 5 guys in our space, go hunt them down. Go hunt them down, go have fun, go be stupid within limits. Heidi suggested calling it Benny Hill Standing Fleet, which I think is a pretty good name as well. But yeah, so we're going to we want you guys to join that if you are hanging out, if you are not in a fleet or an Imperium Standing Fleet. And Teriel, yeah, this is essentially going to be a new Lemmings. It's a good question. So this is going to be the evolution of Lemmings. And I'll get more questions on that. Let me go through my other stuff, then you can guys ask questions about the Imperium Standing Fleet and other things like that. So next, PI factory systems are ready. Our director of PI has 9 systems to make factory systems, which is double the amount of what we had before. The post will be going up in home economics. Beyond, is there anything you want to talk about that?
No, not really. We spread them out so they'll be in every single region we have. And we are not, there's nothing new to it. 1% for all barren and temperate planets in factory systems. And every single system is still going to have a factory planet, the first barren or temperate that shows up.
Alright, cool. Okay, so I wanted to say hi to Ryohei. We have brought him on board as a director. He showed dangerous levels of competency. If you wish to not be a director, please do not be competent, or else you will get boosted up into the Illuminati against your will. And you will be put to work helping people enjoy this space game more. So F's in the chat for our boy Ryo. And then I want to just give you guys a basic update on the move. It has been going better, far better than expected, sort of than I expected. I expect this to be a lot harder. Things are going extremely smoothly. We have not fully upgraded our space yet. It is still going on. Our guys are doing the yeoman's work. They're doing insane amounts of work to get space upgraded for you guys. And I think that I don't actually have a percentage, but we're probably, what do you guys think, 70% done is probably a reasonable estimation about where we are, 75 maybe? But we're getting there. We're getting a lot better, and most of our space is starting to see structures going down. We'll be doing moon stuff pretty darn soon, so expect to hear more on that probably next week. Someone said 85%. That seems reasonable. Okay. So we will be upgrading more and more stuff for the move, but we are settling in. Now, what does that mean for the future? It means future plans, obviously, but expect probably the next month, I would say, at least, to be just settling in. Strat ops will be, on an ad hoc basis with no major kind of deployments planned. So if you want to plan through Christmas and the New Year, we're not looking to have a major deployment, but we are seeing hints of activity from enemies, so that could change in any moment. So expect to see potentially things happening on that front. We will give you updates as they come. One thing I want to talk about is Control-Alt-Delve. We will be moving Control-Alt-Delve to a new system. That'll be announced pretty soon, and we need everyone to sign up for that. We have seen a nice little bump, but if you've not yet made your Control-Alt-Delve please do so. That is mandatory. We need everyone to have a Control-Alt-Delve in Delve. All right, I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. If any directors want to shout that I missed something, go ahead. But otherwise, throw your questions into Elysium, and I will answer them. Do not put them in Mumble. If you type them in the Mumble sidebar, I will not see them. I'm not ignoring you. I just don't see them. Elysium on Jabber is where to ask your questions.
Dang, Asher.
I did indeed talk about skill points, Ditch. Save your skill points for doctrines. Yep. But it's good for saying it again. Skill points for doctrines. Save them up. This is the time of the year they give you new skill points.
Is this also not like with all the crabbing going on and that dreads are very useful crab beacons to remind everybody to get dread alts?
Yeah, I mean, dreads are now a great way to make money on crab beacons, so you can dual use your dread alt, you can easily pay for your plex by running beacons, and they pay for themselves, and you can ladder yourself up into more and more dreads. So it's a great point, yes. Symbiote says that beacon wrecks now give a small amount of salvage. They always give a small amount of salvage, like about 3 million or so. You can still salvage them if you want to salvage. That was always available. I had someone mention to me the other day that's a new thing. It's not a new thing. That was always the case. But it is about 3 million in salvage if someone wants to run it and salvage them.
I have run the numbers, by the way, and 83.6% of our space is upgraded fully.
There you go. Alan says, can you elaborate on Jew standpoint and doing stupid things within reason? Sure. So, we want you guys to have fun. Obviously in Delve, there had to be a lot of clamping down because of how easy it was for the enemy to counter drop us. Now it is less easy for them to do so. So if you guys want to throw your Haw Dread at someone that comes into Teniferous, we are basically saying you'll probably die eventually. Have fun until you die, right? We do not want you throwing your Super or Titan at anything. Your Super or Titan should only be used at the appropriate time, but we are opening it up. If you want to drop your dumb Marauder on people and then lose it, I'm still going to roll my eyes at you. I'm still going to sigh at you, but I am not going to slap you on the wrist. And that's basically what we're saying. You got a Carrier you want to lose. You got a Dread you want to lose. The goal here is not to lose them. I really hate that attitude. It bothers the hell out of me. But if you want to throw your Haw Dread around, this is the place to do it, in the Imperium Standing Fleets. Lancer Dreads are stupid. You probably should not use them, Dr. Farah. Man, I don't even want to... Yeah, whatever. If you want to lose a Lancer Dread, please do it, but don't do it. They're just not worth it. They're terrible. Stop being not fun. See, that's the thing, is like, I don't see how losing... Like, I just don't have it in me that, I lost a 15 billion ship for no purpose. That's not fun. That does appeal to me at all, so I'm not wired that way. I know some of you guys are, and that's why we're opening it up.
Yeah, let me emphasize, if there is a reason that you're using something like that, and you die, we'll just laugh at you. That's okay.
Yeah.
We'll only be annoyed, like Asher says, if you're just like throwing a ship into an enemy fleet because you don't want it anymore, that's dumb. Don't do that. But if you want to attempt to do hilarious things where you mostly get kill mails and then whoops, you died, that's what this is for.
Yeah, but anyway, we are opening that up. So Imperium standing will be going up after the 407 crossing, and then the goal will be to have that up essentially 24/7 as a continuous standing fleet. I expect some teething issues, but get in there if you're in your cruiser and some guys are coming through. Go in with some other goons, go in with some TNT guys, go in with some Imperium members, and just go hunt them down and shoot them, and have a place to coordinate. That's what we're talking about it. Can we do beacons and home systems now like UALX? No. Directors like Hive. There's bees. Thank you. I was totally blanking on the person. Guard bees and directors can run them in UALX. It's just like a bonus for them. Otherwise, do not run them there. Ratting and mining. I think ratting in UALX is a terrible idea. Please do not do it.
There will be a standing comms channel for that. I've been in meetings for the last couple hours, but I will have that done before we spin it up. So
yep,
stay tuned for that.
Does standing fleet mean less FC-led response fleets? Yeah, I'll let you get it. That's a great question, Gileaz. So probably, yeah. It probably means that if a 15-man fleet comes through that we would have formed Harpies for before, we'll just handle it with standing fleet. That's a good thing, actually. It'll be more organic, which is what we want. And also, we want people to get a chance to organically come up. Like, I never wanted to be an FC, right? Like, when I started playing EVE, I just kind of fell into it because I joined the Jew standing fleet, and people weren't doing something, and I'm the kind of person who just steps in and fills a role if it was done. And so that's how I ended up becoming an FC. And then I just kept getting promoted, and here I am eventually, right? Yada, 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 runs the Imperium. So we want to have other people who can fill those kind of roles. Maybe you could be the guy who, started to shoot people coming through the gate, and eventually you're making decisions about the life and death of space empires. So there you go. Sniper, what do you want to say?
Oh, just what you were saying. Like, we'll escalate to pinging the fleet for responses, but we'll try to handle stuff with standing.
Yep.
And obviously, like, if 100-man horde fleet is in our space, then, like, we probably immediately escalate, but yeah, it's the let standing handle the wormholers, the low sectors, the filter gangs, etc. The other thing I was going to hit, there's been people asking about move ops from 1DQ, so you need to work with your friends and your corp to get yourself to 49 tac. Still keep Star Chain from 1DQ to there, it's 1DQ, PUIG, 49 tac, that hasn't changed. And then every weekend after the Fireside, for quite a while still, we'll keep doing these crossing fleets. We'll get some other ones scheduled in different time zones and put them on the calendar. Obviously, the people here listening to the Fireside can probably join the fleet that's going to be in, 10-15 minutes. But there's obviously, like, we're a big organization, we have big time zone spread, etc. So we will make sure that we accommodate those people as well.
All right, we've got a couple of questions about standing fleet and about Ermal and move ops. So Ermal and move ops, I don't expect anything in the next couple weeks. We still have too much on our plate, I would say. But we will be doing our Ermal and move ops once things calm down a bit. I think that's a little more coordination than we want to run right now as far as putting it on the plates of people who are doing a lot of other stuff. But there will be move ops. We're not going to leave you stranded there. For standing fleet, some people ask, can we use them to gate camp entry systems? Yes, perfect. For ESS defense, that's one of the main things I think standing fleet should be doing. If an ESS is getting robbed, go drive them off, right? And will be a meta evolving around that. People will start bringing different stuff. Their fleet will start having different responses. People will say, hey, we should bring this kind of ship. Here's why. That is part of the fun of standing fleets. Standing fleets can be very fun. It's also a good way to meet new people and just make friends in this game. So I'm excited about it. Can we deploy skyhooks on planets that don't have any? No.
Wrong.
Oh, I guess I am wrong.
So there's a thread, it might be in Kremlin, I'm not positive, but so basically the deal is, if you drop a skyhook, you can put in a GSOL ticket, you will be compensated 500 million ISK per skyhook. If you drop a POCO, because you want to do PI in a system, you will not be compensated, and those need to be transferred to GSOL. The reasoning for this is, like, if the upgrades for a system need to shift, like, oh, we need to put a jump bridge somewhere, and we need to drop another skyhook for it, and there's a POCO in the way, you can drop skyhooks over Pokos, but only if the Poko is in the same corp that's dropping the skyhook. So, you know, G-Sol goes to do something and then goes, oh shit, there's a blocker Poko here, and it's a whole fucking thing. But yeah, so basically, if you want to do that, if you look at the upgrade sheet that's linked, there's a thread in home ec. If there is a system that is fully upgraded, that has all of the skyhooks that G-Sol needs, and so things additional to that can be dropped, which pretty much just leaves catch for places that, like, there's probably a 50-50 chance if you drop a Poko and catch that it's gonna get overridden by a skyhook. And there's no, like, the game doesn't refund anything for, like, dropping a skyhook over a Poko, so.
Are we going to have PAPs for the standing fleet? So, that's a good question. Right now, we've discussed it. In the past, we had problems where people would just idle their characters in the fleet for 24 hours a day to collect PAPs and do nothing. And so we're worried about sort of negative incentive there, because it would just lock other people out of the fleet. And so the fleets would get too full with people just uselessly hovering to get PAPs for their corp or themselves, right? So probably not. We may introduce maybe a standing fleet PAP or something as a consideration to track who is being very useful there. So it's something, but we're going to just start it out without them and then see how it goes. PAPs for a kill and standing fleet. A couple of you guys are mentioning that is a sort of an administrative nightmare. Like there's a lot of good ideas that are like, hey, this would be a really cool thing if we had someone who was dedicated to doing it. And a lot of this stuff is like, if you have someone who wants to go through every kill and then verify that the person was there and was in standing fleet, then maybe it could be done. But finding that person is not a good use of the kind of volunteer time that we have for directors. Can we burn Pravi again? So that's a future plans thing, but it's not something that's high on my list right now. I don't think there's a reason to go and hit, particular people who are strong enemies at this moment. It's unlikely we'll do that in an organized way. When are we going to push towards hoarder space? That is a future plans things as well. And I just said that over the next month, through the holidays, it is unlikely that we will be doing an organized campaign. We already have people going in, FCs going in there right now and messing with them, and we have some plans in the cooker for sort of some low-grade stuff. So that'll be happening immediately, but in a very organized way, certainly not in the next, let's say, month and a half.
I thought we just moved closer to horse.
Yeah, there you go. Will there be standing fleet comms on Mumble? Yes, there will. What about people controlling a monopoly of the new pirate dens? So, and this sort of a CCP thing is they did not make a system that was very inclusive to having multiple people in a system. In fact, they locked it out. So, but we're going to wait to see how they update it in, I think, about a week and a half. And then we'll have a more comprehensive policy on what's going to happen. But right now, it just sort of is what it is, because CCP did not make a good system. And it's, once again, like, could we make a system where we rotated people through? Yeah. Who is the person who's going to do that? This is always the question that you have to ask from a leadership perspective. Who's the one who's going to make the spreadsheet and message people? That's a lot of work. You need someone who wants to do that, and then the inevitable bitching, like, oh, I'm really upset and I want to send a message at you. I get messages every day from people who are upset about something. I get a lot of messages every day from people who are upset about something, and I realize it's just my job to be complained at for free, right? But